At last, I finished recomposing all 4 tracks from the OutRun arcade soundtrack to the Amiga in 4-channel mod format. This represents many months of work, resulting in over 20 minutes of continuous music for you to enjoy. All the mod files will be released with the Amiga port of OutRun I'm working on later in the summer. So hot off the press is Splashwave. This was by far the most complicated composition of the bunch, and as a result, I'm pleased I left this one till last, and thankfully I was able to apply some of the techniques I'd developed and learnt along the way doing the other tracks. This track was complex due to the intricate drum programming. There are a multitude of very complex and fast drum patterns with overlapping sounds. For example, during the cymbal crashes and the snare, other percussion needs to sound during the decay periods of those sounds. Let's take a quick listen to the original drum channels. Note, this recording uses the fixed sample ROM, so the drums aren't distorted. However, there are some clicks and other defects. They are present in the original. That's just the way it was. So I had to pre-mix a number of sequences of drum programming in Audacity where drums overlapped and lots was going on. We're only talking a few milliseconds of sound. And then I combined that all together in the tracker at the end. I also used the approach that I took with Magical Sound Shower and Passing Breeze, where I took multiple sounds and combined them into one hit as a single sample. So overall, whilst the sequences I made in Audacity were very, very short, they were needed to condense this down to 4 channels. There's a lot going on in this track. It was tricky to get the mix down sounding good with samples. I've also fixed what I think was a bug in Sega's MML code that encoded this tune originally, where the lead goes out of time towards the end. Anyway, before you hear the final work, let me quickly plug an event that I've been invited to speak at. It's Workbench 25, it's close to Bristol in the UK, and that's on October the 25th. So put that in your diary. I'll be talking about all things OutRun on the Amiga. It will be cool to hang out for the day, so hopefully you can make it down there. Details in the description. Before then, my main focus is going to be optimizing the game engine and rendering code as much as I can to squeeze any additional performance out of it. But for now, let's listen to 13 channels of arcade audio recreated for the Amiga.